Everybody, this is Dr. Forth, and today I wanted to talk to you about test taking preparations. Now, we did a whole other video about working with online testing and the different programs for proctoring, like Respondus, Proctorio, and Lockdown Browser. So if you have concerns about that, make sure you check out that video. What we're really talking about today, as far as test taking, is how to actually take the test and how to prepare for the test. And it's really important to know what kind of test you're going to be taking, or at least have some ideas of the kind of questions you're going to have, because that's going to determine your preparation. Make sure that you read the instructions carefully. If it says answer only one of a group of questions, make sure that you choose the question that you're going to answer. Sometimes faculty will give you a choice of different questions, particularly if it's short answer or an essay. Pay close attention to keywords like always, never, except, or only, because that can change the whole context of the answer. Sometimes, if you're actually taking a paper test, and I very rarely hear about people actually taking paper tests, but if you are taking a paper test, you may have the opportunity to survey the test first and kind of mark the answers you're sure of and then come back. Most online testing systems are set to not allow backtracking. So don't plan on doing that if you're doing an online test unless your professor explicitly tells you that you'll be able to go back and look at the questions again, because most of them require that setting to be disabled. Make sure you manage your time appropriately. You don't want to waste all kinds of time on the one or two questions that you don't know the answer to, when there may be lots of other questions that you can easily answer. Answer everything. As long as there's no point for guessing, it's better to put something there than to put nothing. Now, looking at the different test types, you prepare a little bit differently for each of those different kinds of questions. The first one, short answer test questions. Just knowing association and recognition is not going to be sufficient for something like this. You should be able to discuss the material and outline the concepts. Don't leave an answer blank. At least write down some of your key thoughts if you have some ideas about something. Read the question thoroughly. Make sure you answer all the parts. And again, short answer and essay might have a pick two or of the three or something like that. So you want to make sure that you pay close attention to the instructions and answer accordingly. These kinds of test questions, you can use flashcards, but you should have detailed information about each of the subject materials. You could try and make up your own questions while studying and practice answering them. Or if you're in a study group, you can divide the information, and whoever's responsible for that section should craft some questions and answers about that. Multiple choice tests. This one, I always thought it was much harder, but a lot of students seem to like this. The answer is going to be in front of you. And for that reason, the faculty may do a lot of dirty tricks, or so I call them, dirty tricks, to make sure it's not too easy. So one of the ways to bypass that issue is read the question without looking at the answers. Then try and come up with in your mind what the answer should be based on your knowledge of the question materials. And then just choose the answer that most closely resembles what you've already decided. You can eliminate incorrect choices and do kind of process of elimination. At least you'll get it down to 2 out of 4. If two answers are opposite each other, chances are one of them is correct. If multiple answers seem correct, make sure that choose all that apply is correct. Otherwise, you might have the incorrect answers. Realize that multiple choice questions are looking for the best answer, not the absolute perfect answer that's always right, no matter what imaginary scenarios you can come up with. This is what I did when I was taking multiple choice tests, is I would read the question and choose the answer and, oh, wait, what if this and this and this happened? Then that would be wrong. And by the time I got done, there were no correct answers available because I'd overthought everything. Don't do that. You can use hints from the question that you know to answer some of the questions that you don't know. So, in other words, if you read a question previously and you know you got that one right, think about how that might impact the question that you're looking at now. Don't change your answers. Don't, in all caps, don't change your answers unless you see something that later on tells you, oh, the answer I've chosen cannot possibly be correct. That's the only time you would change it in that case. Okay. But if you think, oh, what if it's that, you're better off leaving it alone in most cases. Essay test questions. This is the dreaded blue book, so named because they used to make little notebooks and the covers were usually blue and you just read the questions and fill the little books with your wisdom or not, depending on how much you have studied. So for this one, you should be able to discuss the material in detail, outline concepts, and be prepared to cite examples from the texts and lecture materials. So you might want to think about list and fully describe whenever you're studying your materials for a test like this. Read the instructions carefully. Like I said, you may be instructed to only answer 2 out of the 3 questions, your choice. Make sure you understand what the question is asking and you answer specifically what they're asking, particularly when you have a question that's long paragraph like blah, 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 pontificating. And then at the very end, question, it's easy to get lost in the mix. Go to right before the question mark, see what's being asked, and then clarify the rest of the material in that paragraph. Make sure that you're answering what they're asking you about. Get as many details and facts as you can. And again, budget your time. For more information about test taking and other study skills, or if you want some ideas about how to include mindfulness practices and meditation, so forth, make sure you check out my online class that I've created. I'm putting the link in the description. And make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time.